And it says in verse 10 that when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Ammonite, when they heard of it, they were deeply disturbed that a man had come to seek the well-being of the children of Israel. So right there, there's opposition. It is setting up to be opposed to the plan that is developing. We'll see how that interplays as we go along. Verse 11, it says, "So I came to Jerusalem, and I was there for 3 days. Then I arose in the night, I and a few men with me, and I told no one what God had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem, nor was there any animal with me except the one on which I rode." Verse 13, "And I went out by night through the valley gate to the serpent wall and to the refuse gate, and I viewed the walls of Jerusalem which were broken down, and its gates which were burnt with fire. Then I went to the fountain gate and the king's pool, but there's no room for the animal under me to pass. So I went up in the night by the valley, and I viewed the wall. Then I turned back and entered the valley gate, and so returned. And the officials did not know where I had gone or what I had done. I had not yet told the Jews, the priests, the nobles, or the officials, or the others who did the work." So Nehemiah at this point is arriving now on the ground. He's seeing Jerusalem really for the first time. And he does not come, even though he's coming with a whole delegation, he's coming with authority. It's obvious he's coming, being sent by the king. But it says he stays quiet as to what his plans were. He didn't come in immediately to say, "Hey, I've come to rescue you. Here's the plan." He remained quiet, and for 3 days, he surveyed the situation. And then at night, without arousing a lot of attention, he went out in the moonlight and observed and surveyed the wall. And in doing so, he was able to now compare the information he had and his understanding of that information from that first brothers who had come back from Jerusalem that told him the situation, that now got him praying, that put the burden on him, that led him to start developing a plan, that led him now to talk to the king, that led the king now to do things that were fully unanticipated because God was moving him, that then led to Nehemiah being at Jerusalem. Even with that, Nehemiah remained quiet and checked to see whether his understanding and the plan that he developed lined up with the reality that was there on the ground. And in being able to look and see, it means that he was put in an early evaluation loop. And that's one of the things that we often forget to do when we're planning, is that need for evaluation. That need to go, "Hey, I made that plan back there. Does it actually fit here on the ground?" Because a lot of times we can get very inspired by God because God is working. We assume that everything is now just all there without realizing that we still have to deal with reality. We still have to deal with an understanding. How does our understanding actually line up? And so Nehemiah took that time and he surveyed. After he did that, it's very interesting as he begins to then he brings them together in verse 17. And he says, "You see the distress that we are in." Now, I'm sure there's a lot of anticipation in the hearts and minds of the people he'd gathered together, wondering, why has this man come? He's come with lots of timber, he's come with an army, he's come with authority, but why has he come? But when Nehemiah talks, you notice he's now casting vision. But he also identifies himself with the people. He says, "You see the distress that we are in." He identifies himself as one of them, together with them, and that their problems are his problems. And he says, "Look at the problems that we are in." He didn't come talking down to them and go, "Oh, I've seen your problems, and I'm here to take care of your problems." He said, "Look at the distress that we are in. Look at how Jerusalem lies in waste, and its gates are burned with fire. Come, let us build the wall of Jerusalem, that we may no longer be a reproach." And I'm sure the people in Jerusalem had longed for the day for someone to come who would say, "Let's rebuild the wall. Let's rebuild the gates. Let's move out of this status of being a reproach, a laughingstock to all those around. Let's restore God's glory to this place, this city of David, city of Zion."